Well, howdy friends. Today I'm going to open the Eternian Goddess, or otherwise in my mind known as the Jolly Green Goddess, Jolly Green Giant's girl. You guys know the old commercials for the Green Giant peas. Green Giant. Anyway, I really like this, the looks of this Tila Green Goddess repaint here. I think they did a really good job with the colors that they chose, the color scheme. I love the silver on there, but anyway, we'll get into that more when we get into the figure. So anyway, here she is in the package. Love the packaging as always. On the back it says, Planet Eternia's warrior deity protects the ancient artifacts worthy to be wielded by only He-Man. And we've got her with the Savage He-Man and the Green Goddess. She's kind of glowing. That's really cool. And splitting the sword, it looks like here, that's knocking it out of Skeletor's hand and splitting it. So that's really neat. Just so you all can see that. So very good. All right, let me go ahead and get her out of package then. Okay, we've got her out of the package, and as you can see, I've brought out the original Wave 1 Tila that I've got a little bit customized with some other paint, but the main reason I brought her out was to check and see if the armor was the same color, and for all I can tell, they really are the same color. There probably is a slight variation in just the plastic from Wave 1 to Wave 6, I believe this was, but I don't think it was intentional by any means. They basically look like they're interchangeable. So if you have the two, you got to maybe be careful which ones. You maybe want to bag them separately if you really want to be sure you have each one separated to each one. I don't think I'm going to do that. I'll just lump them all together in my box of armor and weapons, and I don't really care which one is which because they really look about the same to me. I mean, there's, like I said, a very, very slight difference in tone, but it's not enough to matter. So anyway, we got this mini comic here, the Rock in a Hard Place. Haven't checked it out, haven't read it, but those are always fun to check out. Love the cross-sell, love everybody in this wave. We got the Beastman, which really can't wait to check him out too. That Lords of Power Beastman looks so cool. And Webstore, of course, I love the color of him in his head, and Stinkor, just cool. So anyway, enough about those guys, but yeah. First thing I noticed out of the package was her ankle joints are a little bit weak, so I'm going to have to put some of this Kiki stuff on there to stiffen up the ankles. It's just like a drop on each one, and during the first hour while it's on there, you kind of work it in a little bit and make sure it doesn't stick too much, and then it stiffens them up enough to where they can work a little better, and if it needs more, you just add, doing it again later. But otherwise, I'm really liking this figure. I love the colors of her. Love the green. She reminds me of all kinds of weird people from science fiction. I think there's a Star Trek episode that has a green lady in it that looks really cool. Wow, yeah, look at that. She pops. She's cool looking. So yeah, I like her. I think I've got another one in my closet already, and I've got another one at the Big Bad Toy Store. What do you call it? Pile of loot there. So could potentially have 3 of them to make kind of a race of them. I kind of like them as their own, maybe not as an Eternian Goddess, but as maybe a race of sort of Amazonian women or something like that, or some other race like the blue people, the Kree people. They got the green people too, maybe. Or she can be the Eternian Goddess or a separate sorceress for my Castle Grayskull adventures too. That's always cool. So, oh yeah, the other thing I really noticed about it, I finally get to see the difference in the knee sculpts, and there really is a huge improvement. I didn't see it when I looked at them, online, and everybody was showing it on the web. I couldn't see the difference that much in the legs, but now, in seeing them in person, it's a really big difference. It looks like the bottom parts of the legs are identical. At first, I thought these were new bottom parts of the legs too, but it's just because the front covers up so much of them that they look different from the front. But from the back, I think the calves are actually the same. So it's just a resculpt, a whole resculpted thigh. I even think it looks better right up here in the crotch area. I feel like it's closer in. Like this one has sort of a hip. There's more of a hip or a gap spread or whatever you would call it there. It's just a better overall sculpt in the thigh. So looks more realistic and definitely even from the front and from the back. So very impressed with what they did with that leg sculpt. Looks a lot better. Even though this one never bothered me when it first came out, I just, it's an action figure. It doesn't have to look identical to a real human being, but seeing how much better they did with this one. And this one does match a lot more like the male knee joints, the way they look. It's just a lot thinner. Theirs are beefier, but it does look a lot more like, you know, Skeletor's and He-Man's thighs and knees. So good job there, Mattel, or whoever did the sculpting. I'm impressed with that. Always impressed with whoever did the sculpting, although of course a lot of this is designed after the original sculptors whoever did this back in the 1980s. Thank you guys too for all your work in designing these figures that we love. So I don't know what more to say about it. Just cool. Oh, maybe she could be a friend for Hulk too. Didn't there was a She-Hulk that was green, so she could be a She-Hulk too. That's a good one. All right there, She-Hulk. Oh, don't bust your foot there. In your anger. Temper tantrum, temper tantrum. All right, everybody. Hope we enjoyed this. She's gonna moon you guys before we leave. Twist her head around like some kind of freakish, what do you call it? Exorcist. Okay. All right. There we go, guys. Devolved into the usual misery. Thank you all for joining me and staying with me on this channel, and enjoying your toys as well. Take care, everybody. Bye.